Do you feel like you're constantly fighting with yourself to stay disciplined? There's a reason why this keeps happening, and it's standing between you and the life that you want. By the end of this video, you'll have a 10-step system that will transform how you approach discipline. You will learn the key mistakes you're making and the exact steps to overcome them, so you can finally take control and start living up to your full potential. I've used the system to break free from my own struggles with discipline, and you can use them too to overcome procrastination and make real progress. The last 2 steps are crucial, so make sure you stick around until the end. Step number 1 is to break free from the identity trap. Do you ever find yourself working hard, setting goals, and then out of nowhere, something happens and you lose focus? You might be dealing with what's known as the identity trap. This is when how you see yourself impacts your ability to stay disciplined. But how exactly does your self-image affect your discipline? Your self-image is more powerful than you might think. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with discipline, then guess what? That's likely how you'll behave. Our brains are wired to confirm our beliefs about ourselves. So if you believe you're not disciplined, you'll unconsciously act in ways that align with that belief. Then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine you're trying to exercise regularly, but in the back of your mind, you keep thinking, I've never been good at sticking to routines. Your self-image then sabotages your efforts. But don't worry, there's hope. By changing your self-image, you can change your behavior. Let's look at how you can shift your self-image to break free from this cycle. First, start with self-affirmations. Regularly remind yourself of your strengths and your past successes. Second, visualize yourself achieving your goals. Picture yourself as a disciplined person who overcomes obstacles. And then finally, set small, achievable goals that build your confidence over time and reinforce your new self-image. For example, I used to believe I wasn't capable of sticking to my goals, and this mindset kept me from making progress. Because of my own self-imposed limitations, I would start something and then give up. By shifting my self-image and seeing myself as someone who is disciplined, I was able to transform my ability to stick to my goals. This step is crucial for overcoming your internal barriers. But just tackling your self-image is not enough. You also need to understand how to break your negative habits. If you're feeling stuck in a cycle of bad habits, you're not alone. Understanding the neuroscience behind habit formation can help you break free from your unwanted habits. Habits form because our brains seek efficiency. They create shortcuts to conserve energy. But when these habits are negative, they can become hard to break. Your brain forms these neural pathways, which are based on repeated behaviors, and that makes it so challenging to change. When you attempt to break a bad habit, you're essentially reprogramming your brain. But understanding this can empower you to make lasting changes. So let's talk about some actionable strategies to overcome these bad habits. Here's what you can do. First, identify the cues that trigger your bad habits. Then replace your old habit with a new positive behavior. Gradually, your brain will start forming new pathways associated with this positive behavior. Consistency is key, so keep reinforcing these new habits until they become automatic. So for example, imagine you're trying to cut down on late night snacking. Every evening you find yourself reaching for chips, even though you know it's not good for you. You try to stop, but you keep falling back in the same pattern. So first, ask yourself, what's triggering the habit? You'll notice that your late night snacking habit starts after dinner when you've settled in front of the TV. Next, you want to replace the old habit with a new positive behavior. Instead of reaching for snacks, you decide to replace the behavior with something healthier, like drinking tea. This new behavior serves as a healthier alternative to snacking. So whenever you sit in front of the TV, instead of reaching out for your usual chips, go ahead and just replace that with drinking tea or doing something else that's a healthier habit. At first, this new behavior might feel awkward or unsatisfying compared to the familiar comfort of snacking. However, over time, your brain starts to associate the cue, which is watching TV, with the new behavior, drinking tea, instead of snacking. But breaking your habit loop is not enough. You'll also have to understand why motivation fails and discipline always wins. If you're waiting for motivation before taking action, here's why relying solely on motivation is not the best approach. Motivation is fleeting. It can come and go, often leaving you stranded when you need it the most. Discipline, on the other hand, is about creating habits and routines that persist, regardless of how you're feeling. So while motivation might give you a temporary boost, it's discipline that keeps you moving forward even when you're not motivated. So how do you cultivate discipline to achieve your goals even when motivation is low? Build strong habits and routines that don't rely on motivation. Create a schedule and stick to it, regardless of your mood. Set clear, achievable goals and track your progress. Over time, these habits will reinforce themselves, which will make it easier to stay disciplined even when you're not motivated. By focusing on discipline instead of waiting for motivation, you'll build a solid foundation for achieving your goals. But even if you build discipline, it's not the end of the road. You need to overcome the emotional roadblocks that could be holding you back. If you're struggling with discipline, your emotions might be playing a bigger role than you might realize. Emotions can deeply impact your ability to stay disciplined. When you're feeling overwhelmed overwhelmed or stressed, it's hard to stay disciplined. Emotions can cloud your judgment and lead to procrastination. Understanding and managing these emotional roadblocks is crucial for maintaining discipline. But how can you manage these emotions effectively? Develop emotional intelligence by becoming aware of your emotional triggers. Practice mindfulness and stress management techniques such as deep breathing and meditation. By learning to manage my emotions better, I saw a significant improvement in my discipline. But managing emotions isn't the only challenge. You also need to consider how your social circle impacts your discipline. Could your friends and family be affecting your discipline more than you realize? Your social circle can have a powerful impact on your discipline. Friends and family can either support your goals or hinder your progress. Understanding how your social environment affects your discipline is key to building a supportive network. So let's explore how to build a support system that enhances your discipline. Surround yourself with positive influences who support your goals. Seek out mentors and accountability partners who encourage you. Communicate your goals clearly to those around you so they can support you effectively. I discovered that my social environment was having a huge impact on my ability to stay disciplined. After surrounding myself with more positive and more supportive people, I was able to stay more disciplined and focused. This step is crucial for creating an environment that fosters discipline. But even a supportive social circle isn't the end of the journey. You need to harness the power of micro commitments. If you're feeling overwhelmed by your big goals, breaking them down into smaller, manageable commitments can make a huge difference. Micro commitments are small daily actions that contribute to your larger goals. They create a path to discipline by making big tasks feel less daunting. By focusing on these tiny steps, you can build momentum and gradually work towards your larger goals. I'm a big dreamer. I used to get discouraged by my huge goals until I started setting micro commitments. Many people skip this step because they find it hard to break goals down into smaller, manageable parts. This step is crucial though for making big goals feel more achievable. But even micro commitments can be ineffective if you're using a one-size-fits-all strategy. You need to personalize your approach to discipline. If you're frustrated with generic discipline advice, here's why one-size-fits-all strategies might not work for you. Generic discipline strategies often fail because they don't take into account individual differences. What works for one person might not work for another due to varying personal circumstances, motivations, and goals. It's important to tailor your approach to fit your unique needs. So how can you create a discipline strategy that works for you? Identify your personal goals, strengths, and challenges. I recommend taking the Gallup Strength Finder test. Also, develop a customized plan that fits your lifestyle and your preferences. Regularly assess and adjust your strategies based on what works best for you. By personalizing your approach, you'll find a disciplined strategy that truly supports your personal goals. A personalized approach to discipline can lead to better results and long-term success. But personalizing your discipline strategy isn't enough though. You also need to focus on sustaining discipline over the long haul. If you're struggling to maintain discipline over time, you are not alone. Many people face challenges in keeping their discipline consistent. Long-term discipline can be challenging due to various factors such as burnout, lack of motivation, or changing circumstances. Understanding these common pitfalls can help you navigate them more effectively. So how can you sustain discipline for the long haul? I recommend creating a long-term plan with regular checkups to track your progress. Set realistic expectations and be flexible with your goals. Build habits that integrate seamlessly into your daily routine. If you struggle with this, I recommend the book, The 12-Week Year, to ensure you stay consistent for at least 12 weeks at a time. This step is crucial for keeping your discipline consistent and effective. But even with long-term strategies, you need to address cultural and environmental barriers. So is your environment working against your discipline goals? Cultural norms and environmental factors can either support or hinder your discipline. Factors such as societal expectations, physical surroundings, and access to resources can impact your ability to stay disciplined. So identifying these barriers is crucial for overcoming them. Let's explore how to overcome these barriers and create an environment that supports your discipline. Adjust your environment to remove distractions and create a space that supports your goals. For example, if your office space is cluttered and filled with distractions like your TV, your phone, and a noisy environment, removing these distractions can help you create a more focused and goal-oriented space. Seek out resources and communities that align with your goals. For example, if you find it difficult to focus while working at home, look for a co-working space where you can be around other people who can keep you motivated. By making these changes, you'll enhance your ability to stay disciplined. Now, overcoming environmental barriers isn't the final step. You also need to practice self-compassion to truly enhance your discipline. It may sound counterintuitive, but being kind to yourself can actually enhance your discipline. I found that being kinder to myself was key to improving my discipline. Many people push themselves too hard without recognizing the importance of self-compassion. Self-compassion is important, especially when things don't go as planned. When you harsh on yourself, it can lead to negative emotions and decrease your motivation. So learning to be compassionate towards yourself can improve your overall well-being and make it easier to stay disciplined. So how can self-compassion improve your discipline? Well, Well, practicing self-compassion by acknowledging your efforts in progress, even if things don't go perfectly, can help you improve your discipline. I also recommend to give yourself grace and use setbacks as learning opportunities rather than reasons to quit. By being kinder to yourself, you'll build resilience and maintain your discipline more effectively. And that wraps up our 10-step system. Remember, each of these steps is designed to work together to help you build lasting discipline and achieve your goals. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Thanks for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video.